2020 and welcome back to our channel. I know you've missed me, I've missed you guys too. It's been a long time, but I am back. I'm here and I'm ready for 2020 and I hope you are. I want to say, first of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy 10,000 subscribers to this community. Yes, we made it to 10,000 this year and I'm so grateful for everybody who has subscribed, liked, shared, commented, everything. Wonderful. I love it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it and I look forward to 2020 with everyone here. Now in 2019, we had a couple of guests on our show. We had several topics that we covered. So many things that brought us through the year that I just want to make mention of. First of all, thank you to the guests that were on in 2019. So there was Kimoy Dice, there was Temu Moore, there was Dwight Moore, and then there was, of course, Mr. Yours Truly, husband Nicholas. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time out to share with the community and sharing your experience. Everything wonderful. I appreciate you guys. We covered so many topics in 2019. You know, I started out with a bit of my story. So some of you know a bit of my story, a bit of the drama involved with me moving to Canada initially. We talked about express entry, we talked about study permits, work permits, Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. We spoke about citizenship because of course I became a citizen in 2019. Milestone of a year. I made it to citizenship in 5 years. And on January the 7th, I'm going to tell you how I did it. So I look forward to sharing that with you. So this video is a welcome to 2020. Welcome to the year. And I'm going to answer 5 questions because of course you wonderful people are still messaging me and asking questions on Instagram, on YouTube, in email, Facebook, everywhere. I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to tackle 5 questions right now that I think will answer questions that maybe you have in your mind as well, but also to answer the questions that have been asked of me. So let's answer some questions for y'all. Alright, so this person, hi Christina, I am in Jamaica. I got my acceptance to Humber and it's now time to apply for the student visa. So I plan on using an agent called Anton Brown. I'm not really sure, but I think I heard you mention that you used an agent the second time that you applied for a visa. Therefore, I just wanted to ask if he was the person that you used, or do you know if he's good when it comes to student visa applications? I did use Anton Brown and I was successful in getting my student visa through him. So if I'm going to answer the question, is he good? He did it for me and I was successful. So I think he knows how to do it. It's a fairly simple application process. So would I recommend him? Sure. I would recommend using Mr. Anton Brown for applying for your visas and helping you to get into schools in Canada. Next question. Hi, good day. I have been following you for quite some time now and I really admire what you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate you for saying that. I am seeking your expertise on a matter. I have a sister who would like to study in Canada, Niagara College to be exact, but funds are not readily available. Neither am I seeing where there are offers for full scholarships for international students. Do you by any chance know of any international student loan companies, grants, or scholarships available? Based on my knowledge, because I've looked into this before, it could change, it could have changed, always do your own research, but I don't believe that loans are available to people who do not have Canadian status here. Loans are barely available to people who have just become a permanent resident. You almost have to build up some sort of credit in order to get a loan. But you are able to get a loan in your home country, provided you're able to pay it back. That is sort of the route that I took. I had the assistance of my parents where we took a loan out in my home country, but it's a big boy loan. It's not It's not a student loan where they give you time to pay back. It's like you take the money now, you start paying back tomorrow kind of a loan. So I had assistance, of course, from my parents. Much love, much appreciation, to help me to pay back the loan while I was in school and to get it done. Now, I don't know if there are full scholarships for international students. I know that there are partial scholarships that you can look into. So if your sister wants to come to Canada but is not necessarily gung-ho about Niagara College, because I mean there's other schools that probably have better scholarship options. I'm not sure why Niagara College, but if she's open to looking at different colleges that probably do have scholarships or better scholarships available, that might be beneficial to her. But definitely check out what's available in your own country, or consider becoming a permanent resident first and then getting a grant or OSAP or a student loan or something once you become a permanent resident. I hope that helps. Question number 3. I am currently a student at university in Jamaica, but I am not pleased and satisfied with how the school is operating. It's really infuriating. I always wanted to attend school overseas. I thought it was a difficult operation. Me too. I'm currently a second-year student studying computer science, and I wonder if you could give me advice as to how I might go about changing schools from here to a school in Canada. Now, I think that ultimately shifting from school to school in terms of, like, say for instance, now you're in second year, will you go into second year when you get here? It depends. Probably not. If that's what your goal is, then you might want to look into what schools will transfer the same credits that you've already acquired at your school over to the program that they have at their school. Now, it all boils down to being able to afford school here, having the funds, and just getting it done. But you might have to do some consultation with agents at the school to see how transferable your credits are. Will you end up in second year? Will you go to first year? I'm not sure. But first of all, check out which school you can afford to go to and consult with the international student department there to see where you will fit into that program. I hope that helps. There's multiple schools here. It might be easier to transfer into a college than a university, but definitely explore both options, see which ones you can afford, and it should be a relatively easy process. But you might not end up in third year or second year. Well, you might have to redo a year, but I think long term, you'll get the desired outcome, I hope. I hope that answers your question. Question, oh gosh, is this 4? I don't know. Question, a consultant is trying to get me a work permit in Canada. That's very interesting. How are they doing that? I'd be open to hearing about how they're getting you a work permit in Canada and what kind of job. I don't know the duration of the work permit, okay? But they're trying to get a work permit for me through a Canadian consultant, okay? My question is, I want to study when I come to Canada. If I come through a work visa and want to study, do I need a study permit? If I am to get a study permit while my work permit is still valid. There's like 2 questions. There's some other questions here, but I'm going to address them one by one. Right? I'm going to read the rest of it in a second. Based on my experience, my work permit at the bottom of it said not allowed to study, not allowed to go to school. So it may depend on the type of work permit that this consultant is getting you. The likelihood of being able to go to school while you're on a work permit is slim, but I'm not saying it is impossible. But my work permit specifically said at the bottom, not allowed to study. So I'm thinking the answer to the question is yes, you will likely need a study permit. Can you get both at the same time? I don't know. I don't know if you can have a work permit through a consultant, which is likely going to be a closed work permit with a specific employer. I don't see how somebody can get you like just an open work permit, but if that's what they're doing for you, you let us know how you did it, because girl, I think it's a girl, I'm not sure, boy, sorry. And if I'm able to get a study permit, will my work permit still be valid? I don't know. Maybe not. When you get a work permit specifically to come to Canada, I'm assuming it's going to be a closed work permit. If it's a closed work permit, it's with a specific employer, and so it's like there's some contractual terms where you're going to work for X amount of time, and these are your obligations and all of that. Once you start getting into having a study permit, are you going to be able to work full-time and go to school? Are you able to going to meet the obligations of that contract and go to school at the same time? I'm not sure. The likelihood of you studying for less than 6 months is probable. So here I went to dig up my work permit for you to tell you exactly what my work permit said about being able to study. So there's 4 conditions at the bottom of my work permit here, right? And one of them says, unless authorized, so if you have authorization, then Bob's your uncle. Unless authorized, prohibited from attending any educational institution or taking any academic, professional, or vocational training course. So that is what my work permit said. My work permit was an open work permit, which means I had the freedom to go and work anywhere I want. I'm not sure if you will be the same. So it's best to speak to that consultant and ask that consultant specifically that question. But I'm going to just answer it for the general public, for anybody who has the question floating around in your mind. Remember, I'm not an immigration consultant, so always do your research and always get professional advice before taking any action. The second part of the same person's question is, as a student who came to Canada through a work permit, but later becomes a student, can work full-time with my work permit, or will my work permit be invalid? So I think it's similar to just the previously answered question. Is just that I don't know if you will be able to have a study permit and a work permit at the same time under the same conditions that you came to Canada. But if you do have a study permit, they do allow you to work, but you're not able to work a 40-hour week. You're able to work a maximum of 20 hours per week. And I don't consider that to be full-time. So you are able to work, but not full-time legally. And that is what the requirements right now of a study permit are. Hope that answers your question. But always go back to your consultant. If you have a consultant working with you, getting all these wonderful stuff worked out, ask that consultant about being able to study and to work and what's allowed for you. And I'm sure they'll be able to answer your question. The last question is, good day, hi, hello. My son lives in Canada for 4 years and I would love to come and look for them. What must my son do to get me a visitor's visa for my daughter and I to visit in the summer of 2020? So your son should do exactly what I did, I believe, what I did for my sister and my mother. Both of them wanted to come to Canada and visit last year, and they did. And all I did was to write an invitation letter stating that I would like to invite my sister or my mother to come to Canada, and I have a video about that I will put. I think the eye is on this side. Oh gosh, I don't remember anymore. There's a little eye that's going to appear on the screen, and a little thing is going to flash across the top. At the end of this video, you can click the eye and you can go back to that video about an invitation letter, how to write it, what you need, who needs it, and how to be successful in getting your visitor's visa. I hope that answered your questions, and for the people who didn't ask those questions, I hope that answered any question that you had floating around in your mind. Now this year is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk about topics that are, of course, have been requested. Talk about the rural and northern pilot program. So my mouth full of words, these programs: Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, Rural and Northern Pilot Program. We're going to talk about maternity leave in Canada. And we're going to talk about how I came to Canada and became a citizen in 5 years from Jamaica to Canada. And that's not the entire year, that's just some of the topics that we're going to talk about. But of course, we are available where I am able to cover topics upon request based on my knowledge base, of course. And I'm definitely excited to start this year off with you guys, to share with you Believe me when I tell you that I appreciate this community so much, and I appreciate your comments so much. You know, some people have been messaging me, hey, I haven't seen a video from you in like a month. Are you okay, girl? I am okay. I'm alive and well. My face is a little bit round, but I'm okay. I'm okay. And I'm here. I'm excited for this year. You guys helped me through last year. Believe it or not, I really appreciate you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on January the 7th, where we're going to talk about how I moved from Jamaica to Canada and became a citizen in 5 years, and I'm going to share some exciting news with you guys. See you in the next video.